Good morning, everyone. Thank you for witnessing Foundations of Precision Medicine 2022. I believe in wherever it is meant to be, it will happen actually. So Precision Medicine 2020 was planned in New Delhi, and we all were very excited, but you know what happened in 2020. So we were almost, it was in April, and at the end we figured out that India is going in a lockdown actually, and then we canceled the whole trip, and then now we are meeting for the first time, for the inaugural, Precision Medicine 2022, and I would like to, thank all the organizing going actually. So what we have transitioned from past, which was physicians know, which is a symptom-based medicine, as well as present, which is a pattern-based medicine. Now we have a genomic sets of the genome, and that we are trying to test, but the biology is very complex, right? Actually, so what we are paving the way towards is the future, which is algorithm-based medicine. So you go to a physician, and the physician will what the physician will do is they will try to do your multi-omic study, and then combine it with imaging data, and then they're already building a personal molecular classifier. So any new patients, data can be run through this personal molecular classifier, and analysis can be done, and the final, the outcome, which drug or diagnostics, which drug the patient will respond, would be delivered via digital health. So the promise of precision medicine will be delivered via digital health by your physician. The promise is right drug, the right patient, and at the right time, actually. So, this is a futuristic view. So we are moving in the drug discovery field. We are moving from last decade, which was a blockbuster drug model, right? To current decade, which is a specialty model. Now we have BRAF inhibitors, we have specific mutation inhibitors. To next decade, which is medicine as a service. So we all have to get ready for this, upcoming, era upon us, and we are the ones who would be the pioneers. This would be a precision-based medicine. It will be algorithm-based. Digital medication would be part of it. We can prescribe. So actually, the only way we can tackle these big challenges that are upon us is by coming together and defining a bigger with a bigger cause and a bigger effort. So AAPM actually is an American Association for Precision Medicine, which is an organization. The goal is to accelerate the field of precision medicine and transform patient health. And what we are pioneering. We are a glue in bringing together the public health planners, providers, payers, and patients together to co-innovate and try to accelerate the field of precision medicine. So it will be good for you, and so if your focus is in data, please be part of that. We also have an annual meeting. The community meets once a year in the Santa Clara Convention Center in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I invite you. We have AAPM has an innovation-centric team, and then we have an innovation initiative we have spun out on a central screening facility, which is which the goal is to subsidize and make precision medicine more affordable, and finally a discovery engine to basically fuel the precision medicine pipeline. That's a novel drug diagnostic diagnostics combinations actually. And we created what was called AAPM Angels and Investors, which grew up to become a WISE, which is now a global investment collective. And WISE is not only just focuses on healthcare and well-being. We are also, the funds are also focusing on economic development, energy, climate, aerospace, education, film and OTT, technology. We have a huge fund in technology that's making investments, agriculture, global investors, and some of the things, so most recent, AAPM created stakeholders that worked around the clock in mental health, because this is also a mental health task force. Basically, the act utilized on a ecosystem that AAPM has built over time that includes technology partners, investors, member companies, hospitals, healthcare institutions, startups, academic institutions, governments, and together we provide rapid, effective treatment options, and can we help physicians, with pandemic, kind of a post-pandemic, post-traumatic sort of that we all went through as collectively. We spun out Precision Biopharma, that's bringing a COVID-19 drug, which is called PB004. It's more potent antiviral. It's immunomodulatory, ensures an immune response. It's also anti-clotting, avoids stroke, heart attack. It's also anti-inflammatory, stops cytokine storm. We have, so this is a drug ready for, all the challenges with COVID-19. In a COVID-19 global summit to basically brainstorm as a community what is our action plan next. And what happened in India, you all know. So initially, the task force started helping in China, and then we helped when the spillover was in US. We helped US hospital and healthcare systems. But what happened in India, we quickly created a task force on the ground, which and a huge coalition. So that came together. That included AAPM, North Shore University, United Vision International, Global Prostate Cancer Foundation. We came together and we were able to send over $4.5 million worth of stuff to India. We collaborated with Anupam Kher and Kiran Kher's Care Foundation, who also pivoted from their original focus to help us, send the supplies to physicians and hospitals in the country, and work with Bharat Forge, and which is they help with the supply chain logistics. So we are blessed with some of the biggest supporters actually, and thank you all for supporting. The future is bright actually. So a lot of clinicians here. So what I believe is that moving forward, we have AI which will kind of take over all the monotonous tasks actually. Also AI chatbots will help with patient-physician interactions, as well as virtual healthcare assistants will help make lives of physicians easier in the clinic, as well as medical record. There's a lot of innovation, multi-billion-dollar deals in medical record field, and there'll be a lot of innovation as well as treatment and design to empower physicians with more tools and drugs and diagnostics. So AI robotics coupled with analytics and smart imagination will transform the medicine in healthcare actually. And I like this quote. I'll leave you with this: nothing is impossible. The word itself says I am possible. So thank you all, and I give you all Precision Medicine 2022. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Mishra, for the wonderful presentation. उसको खोल दीजिए ना, कर देंगे। We'll look into sound.
Just show you what BITS Pilani Hyderabad campus has been doing.
So now we would like to play a small video regarding the initiatives of the Technology Business Incubator, BITS Pilani Hyderabad, under the guidance of Mr. Prashant Sinha.
Recognized by the Ministry of Education, Government of India. Initially started its journey in 1901 as a small art shop, and was today an institute. The campus admits around 1,500 meritorious students every year, and accommodates over 4,500 students, and about 1,500 people comprise the faculty members in hostels, learning halls, and state-of-the-art facilities include lecture theaters, video conference halls, digitally connected classrooms, auditorium, and
to deliver the keynote speech for this event, Professor Gangadhar.
Good morning, respected Dean and other dignitaries on the dais and other attendees of this excellent program which is organized by BITS Pilani. I'm fortunate to attend this program on behalf of the Telangana government. I'm basically a nephrologist and a practicing transplant physician in the Nizam Institute of Medical Sciences, and also advisor to the government and Chief Minister on health-related aspects of Telangana state. So when Mr. Prashant Sinha approached us for organizing a conference or a meeting on precision medicine, actually it looks, is it a new topic? Because actually as a physician, we hear about kidney diseases, heart diseases, transplant, and infectious diseases and other things. But what is this precision medicine? Actually, it's an integral part what we practice in our day-to-day life. Like as a doctor, what is my main aim is to see the patient, diagnose the patient, treat the patient, and monitor. Only three angles that I look at whenever a patient comes to me. So first of all, I need to diagnose the patient. Second thing, I need to treat the patient. Third thing, I need to monitor the patient. These are the simply what a function of a doctor. So this precision medicine, how it is helping a doctor in one is diagnosing, treatment and monitoring, we will understand how, as my previous speaker correctly. So how a precision medicine is being practiced by the current doctors is actually based on experience. If at all I'm a good doctor, my medicine will work and my patient will get better and I get a good name and that will attract more patients to me. That's how a precision medicine practicing doctor will be a famous doctor, like he has large clientele. That is one way of looking at it. Previously, in previous generations also, we had famous doctors where they used to diagnose with precision, treat with precision, monitor with precision, they had good outcomes. Now, we are having a different paradigm shift where now the decision of diagnosis is not only based on my own experience, but we are trying to have evidence base for that. Not only putting a physical examination, taking a good history. Actually, whenever a patient comes to us, we take good history of the patient and we do a physical examination and a clinical examination. And apart from that, these two, we are adding some other layer like diagnostics. So we do some diagnostics, which will improve our precision to make a diagnosis again. And among the diagnostics, they will aid in diagnosis of a correct diagnosis, and also they may guide what treatment we need to put to the patient to improve the precision. In diagnosis, if at all patient coming to us with some fever and cough, we've taken a radiograph, which will tell me, which will guide me to precisely diagnose whether it's having a tuberculosis, whether it's a bacterial pneumonia, viral pneumonia. So based on the diagnosis, my prescription will change. So that is helping me or improving my precision diagnostics. Second thing, we'll also do some sputum evaluation. Why am I telling is actually because recently we passed through COVID. That's why that COVID logistics where it involved lungs, I'm trying to take an example of that. I'm trying to tell how a precision medicine helping a doctor to diagnose. So once a sputum examination is done, we send for culture and sensitivity. We identified organism. Based on the culture sensitivity, we will prescribe medicine. So blindly, we are not writing medicine. Blindly, if patient having fever and cough, the prescription is not just for everyone, same medicine. No. Based on diagnostics, we try to modify the prescription. If at all some gram positive is there, organism, I'll write some medicine. Gram negative is there, I'll write some other medicine. Tuberculosis is there, I'll write some other medicine. So that's how the diagnostics are aiming, at least helping us, the physicians, to correctly diagnose and put in a right prescription. That is one thing. So diagnosis is being aided by precision medicine. Treatment is also aided by precision medicine. And also the culture sensitivities, like that we give some medicine. Actually, the medicine may not work for that patient. So drug resistance will be there. That is also helped by doing the culture sensitivity pattern, and some genetics are also involved. So that also helping the doctors to give a right medicine to that patient. That is number one. And monitoring. Sometimes what happens, you give some medicine, you think that it will work. A patient will come to you again. But drug resistance is there, lung disease is progressing. Means whatever the medicine, routinely other patient will respond, but this patient may not respond. Then you will be perplexed. Why this patient is not respond? So the genetic makeup in that individual may be different, where the drug is not working. Or you may require some more drug. As a transplant doctor, I use a transplant medicine known as tacrolimus. It's a CNI, calcineurin enzyme inhibitor. So a lot of times what I do, same medicine like 0.1 milligram per kg body weight drug I give, but some patient may respond, some may not respond. And if they don't respond, they end up in rejection. Whatever the kidney I kept in the body, it will reject. So there also I'll try to use a precision medicine, a personalized medicine, to screen some individual whether they have cytochrome P450, high metabolizer or low metabolizer. Based on that, I'll try to give more medicine to that patient if at all is a high metabolizer. I'll try to give a low medicine if at all is having a low metabolizer. So like that, titration of medicine is also being helped by precision medicine. And in monitoring, that's what I was telling. Sometimes BP medicine also, it's very common to see a lot of people put on diabetes and hypertensive medicine, but very rarely we have a good control. 50% of the individual on antihypertensive medication and anti-diabetic medicines are not under good control. So where we need to titrate the medicines. So here also precision medicine will help. So precision medicine can help in a personal level or a population level. In personal level, we means an individual having some problem that can also be diagnosed and a personalized medicine can be given, and a population as a whole. So if at all we look at our people, Indians versus Westerns, where the drug dosing, sometimes we may use 1.5 gram BD twice a day for some medicine. In Indian scenario, we may have to use a 1 gram BD, like in a mycophenolate mofetil, what we use in a transplant. In Western scenario, they advise higher dose because they are high metabolizers and they require more dose. But India, we don't require that much of high dose. So that is also population level. There are differences in some group of population where they require more amount of medicine and we may require less amount of medicine. So in all these scenarios, coming from a diagnostic perspective to treatment, choosing a drug perspective to monitoring perspective, this precision medicine definitely helps. And I like to thank the organizers for involving me as a doctor in this program, because now I'm trying to understand whenever I come to any program, it's a learning for me also. So it's a good learning for me to understand how precision medicine is helping for a good diagnosis. Recently, I'll try to give an example in a COVID scenario. So actually when antibody cocktail was there, in second wave actually it is used very well. It is used to treat Delta virus infection. And third wave came. So a lot of physicians are writing the antibody cocktail, which is very costly, 1.2 lakhs per dose. Actually Omicron, the genetic testing was done for the virus, and this Omicron will not respond to the antibody cocktail. Definitely that has helped large number of patients recently to avoid that sort of a cocktail medicine to this Omicron variant. So this is a precision medicine, though we don't call it as a precision medicine, but it is a precision medicine where this technology of genetically diagnosing a virus of which variety, alpha virus, delta virus and Omicron virus. Definitely the differentiation what made by a diagnostic aid to a doctor definitely helped him to take a precision based decision to give or not to give the drug or not. So this definitely helping a doctor or a physician to precisely treat, avoid the toxicity of the drug, and also save the money to the patient also. It is helping the patient for a correct diagnosis, correct treatment, and also improving the economics. That's also important thing, because sometimes we may use some drug which is not of any use to that patient. But if at all the precision medicine is being practiced, definitely it can help the doctor to practice in a more economic way with a better precision, so we can help large number of patients. So this is the background where how the precision medicine helping a physician or a surgeon, and whatever surgeons also like. And Telangana government, I like to say that actually we are coming out with a big database of making a health profile for the each and every individual of our Telangana state. Actually we recently started in 2 districts, in Sirsilla and Mulugu, where around 10 lakh population is there. We are going to house survey and trying to Chief Minister of this Telangana state to build a health profile for the entire state. So that process is already initiated, and we are closely in touch with our IT department, where it is headed by our dynamic Minister K.T. Ramarao Garu and Secretary Jayesh Ranjan Garu, where our health department led by Harish Rao sir is in close contact, and we are working together to build a total digital health profile of an entire state. That is number one. Number two, to aid the diagnosis of the doctors or help the making diagnosis, we are trying to build, already it is functional, Telangana Diagnostics, where actually all diagnostics hubs are being placed in the districts. And people need not travel much. They can visit the local health center and diagnosis can happen. Blood sample are collected, radiographic, ultrasound imaging, and also blood evaluation. Everything is done at Telangana Diagnostic Center. Because COVID, as you've seen, our testing capacity was enormous. We went to the field, we collected the sample, we tested. We have taken a lot of help from the private, but government sector, the capacity to do the testing was also increased to 30,000 tests per day, at least in RT-PCR itself. The rapid testing, we have done more than 1 lakh tests per day, but this capacity is expanded recently. So diagnostics also we are trying to make available in all the districts. That is also a vision of the Honorable CM to make the diagnostics available, which should aid the doctor to take a precision decision, to practice precision medicine. It may not be a thing that we are aiding the doctors, but this concept of precision medicine is not very much vogue in our doctor community. So only we need to tell that actually whatever we are doing is helping the doctors to make a precision diagnosis. The health profile also helps me, because helps the state or help the individual to take a decision. Whether in the first will form the health profile, later on whatever the medicines we are giving in the follow-up, we'll see the response, whether they are responding to this medicine or not. That is also build up will be there. The treatment response also will be built up in the healthcare database which we are trying to develop. So this big database which is going to emerge over a period of time, definitely can aid the government and also aid the doctors to take a proper decision for improving the healthcare in the community, where what test to be done, what drug to be given, how to monitor this patient, everything will be coming in a transparent fashion. Digitally it is available. So health profile is one, and Telangana diagnostic is other thing. Other thing is actually making the health available, accessible and affordable to everyone. The government is also coming out with one medical college for each district. So already we have 17. We are trying to have in 33 districts. So where our capacity to produce around 5,000 doctors in only government sector in coming years. So this will increase the access to the patients. So until unless whatever precision we are talking, until unless the patient should access to the doctor. So accessibility should be increased and affordability to be increased, where affordability is made available by, because our scheme we have a Telangana Arogya scheme where we are funding the each and every person, like all the families, 1 crore families in Telangana state are being covered with one or other way of having a government help. Either government insurance, up to 5 lakh insurance is there for all the citizens of our state. So this will improve the access and affordability. Once you have an access where you have distributed your all healthcare network across the state by providing medical colleges, and we also evolved becoming out a Basti Davakhana where we are trying to build hospital near to the patients. Near a Basti we are building a Davakhana, and we are having a village Davakhana, like village or Palle Davakhana, what we are calling, where we are trying to increase the access where patients can go and get an access. Because COVID has taught a lot. Because in COVID, a lot of people were not coming to the hospital at all, and they're having more problem. They're coming to the hospital in the end stage where disease is being worsened. But to tide over the crisis, what our government has done is actually we went to the people. We went to the house-to-house survey, and we have distributed the COVID kits, where we identified the people at the beginning and treated them. So that's how our state is very well done in the COVID management. It is actually appreciated by the government of India also. In the economic survey, they have told that actually Telangana is one of the best state to manage the COVID in an effective manner, saving more lives were there. So this approach has helped us. So taking the cue from that, our Honorable CM suggested that actually we should decentralize the patient care to the grassroots level, improve the diagnostics, and also improve the precision by making diagnostic free to everyone, where that precision-based prescription will happen from the doctor. So this is the government perspective. A personal perspective, definitely precision medicine is going to be the key in the future, helping the doctors to take proper decisions into treating the patients. And not only, a lot of areas are there, like in cancer, we have excellent precision medicine diagnostics are there. In kidney disease is there, heart disease are there. A lot of things are emerging. I think we also as a doctor community, we need to get more involved in this. I think we are not very much involved in this precision medicine. Being a doctor, what we will do is actually we try to take up whenever it comes to us. Like you do the research and we practice. But instead of that, actually we should have a more close collaboration where a scientific community, researchers, and also the practicing doctors should work together and build more. What I want, I will tell you, like what is my difficulty. I'm treating a patient, but he's not responding. That question, I'll give it to you. You answer that. So where you make me also part in that question. Research question will come from mostly the practicing doctors. I have problem in treating this patient. So this collaboration, so that we also more concentrate on improving the precision of our treatment. So thank you very much for all of you for listening to and inviting me to this an excellent symposium. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So first of all, good morning, everybody. And I did want to first say thank you to Dr. Prasun Mishra for inviting me to this conference. This is probably my first exposure to precision medicine thought leaders. And to me, it's a very humbling experience to be just with you on the same panel. So thank you for inviting me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Mr. Uday Chatterjee, who really brought WISE and IEN together. So as I fondly call him for years, Udayda, thank you very much for doing this for us. It's priceless. And I think that truly actually reflects for me what I've been working for, to bring high quality investors, but more importantly mentors like Mr. Chatterjee, Dr. Vinendra Tulla, to really engage with the young startup ecosystem. So thank you for being here. And I think none of us would have been here if it hadn't been for BITS Pilani, Hyderabad. So thank you, Professor Sundar, Professor Swain, and of course, nothing works if Prashant doesn't get into action. So thank you very, very much for having us here. So, you know, the previous speakers have dwelt a lot on why we need precision medicine, how it works, and what happens. Let me try and bring in another perspective, if I may. We will want to give them education to the best of our ability, and we will want to look after our health. These are completely basic needs of everybody. Now, the healthcare industry in India is growing. It is projected to reach 372 billion by 22, which is this year, end of this year, according to a recent report from the Government of India, Invest India actually. The hospital industry, which accounts for 80% of the healthcare industry in India, is forecasted to increase to 135 billion by end of FY23, from a mere 62 billion in FY18, growing at a CAGR of almost 16 to 18% opportunity for healthcare, innovative healthcare, and what we are discussing today, precision medicine. And I think from a purely entrepreneurial perspective, every problem that we see is actually an opportunity. And therefore, when we talk about the largeness of the problem, it just reflects the largeness of the opportunity. And that's why you see a lot of investors actually asking the first question, what's the problem, right, to which you are trying to solve? To accentuate this, the pandemic has created a new focus and a far larger market which we don't even understand for both preventive and curative health. I mean, we've been going through this for the last 2 years, right? 2020 to 2021. So the pandemic has really unleashed something which we have no idea what it was. So the numbers that I stated earlier are actually a fraction, because we don't know what's going to happen. It's too short a time. But what we see is for sure what Dr. Devi Shetty actually pointed out, that hospitals are going to become increasingly IPD focused, right? The need for customized medicine at an affordable price is going to go up, and it is going up. I mean, if you look at COVID, the number of online consultations that went on, right? It was telehealth in one way, but I do know an opportunity. which means that when we are talking about a 372 or whatever billion dollar opportunity, actually that's a fraction. And that's the importance to me of why we are here today. Because it's not only to solve problems, but it's also to create solutions for a very, very large market and create what I would say valuable companies. That's what I think is very important. I'm probably saying this to the converted, but precision medicine and this, especially in medical and clinical research, to enhance the likelihood of preventive treatment, which is personalized to an individual, right? As per research, the global precision medicine market is projected to be $100 billion by 2026-27. I don't think that number is right. I think at the rate it's growing, it will be much, much larger. And I think WISE will have better statistics, but even $100 billion market is huge. It just reflects the need and the need for solution that is very big. We have a very varied customer base, if I may say so, very varied patient base. What the ailments of the North are not necessarily the ailments in the South. And many of you are medical professionals and doctors, you'll probably know this far better. So what we can innovate here, test out here in this country, will surely apply to some other country in the world. So our importance to the global health, we were able to export. So that sort of is a first glimmer of how India is central to global health in some ways. And that's the opportunity, which I was saying, that it is much beyond what we are seeing today. I think the other piece that is very, very important, and we are seeing this when we are talking to a number of entrepreneurs, we're talking to organizations like BIRAC, we're talking to ICMR, we're talking to AIMS, all of this. I think the sum total, preventive and personalized healthcare. So if you look at these 4 Ps, I think those are the 4 pillars on which healthcare can really build out. And that is customized for the individual patient. So from the data that you're creating out of macro levels, from the different tech approaches that you are adopting, from the different scientific researches, you're actually coming down to a laser-focused analysis of disease of that person and the treatment new oil. It is. It is. But data alone does not do it. I think over dinner last night, Dr. Karthik, you made this point, and I had this in my script, so I'm probably repeating it, but data alone is not enough. It needs to get analyzed. It needs to really apply artificial intelligence, machine learning algorithms to mine this data, but more importantly, those algorithms have to throw up analysis. Talking about this, that today technology, just as you have electricity and water as infrastructure, right? I think technology is the third infrastructure. We are stuck to this 6-inch screen. We are driven by it, and there's a lot of debate about how good or bad it is. But the reality is, for healthcare specifically, this is actually very good. If you can drive healthcare to the individual on a 6-inch, or the medicine fraternity, I think you guys know it better. But honestly, for people like us who are more laymen, we don't understand it very well. Okay, and that is something where I think while this is a need, this is where we can help as laymen, I think there's education required. The understanding needs to extend beyond its general definition, okay, because it includes everything from uniquely targeted medical products to diagnosing, treating patient-specific ailments, all of that. But what we need to understand, honestly, is trying to solve, and how does it work? So I think it leads me to a larger problem that we need to solve. Is this is a huge opportunity, and it is affecting all of us. but we are very uneducated about it. So I'm going to leave this as a thought with the medical fraternity that we need help here. So think about it. As I said, this is a convergence of sectors, convergence of healthcare medicine with technology. This requires collaboration with people with multiple expertise, be it clinical experts, bioinformatics, programmers, biostatisticians, data analysts that can create value which can impact society to a large extent. So making sense of data, presenting the data to a clinician and public health specialists in a simple and actionable form would require an interface between doctors and data, which also means that doctors or medical professionals will need to understand data in some ways. So you won't get your analysis unless you sit down with the the data guy and say, this is how I want it. It's as fundamental as that. So what we'll need as a country is developing new capabilities, developing technologies and investors to invest in healthcare, right? They're not, to be very honest, this group of investors are not really interested in investing in one more hospital. We are not CapEx, high CapEx investors. We are low CapEx, capital efficient investors in models. So tech, analytics, med devices, all of this makes innovation, we've invested in a number of companies. We were probably the first angel network to have invested in drug discovery, stem cell research, to see this. And we are starting to also feel the pinch where we've invested in companies where the tech or the business person is not there. Those companies are not moving. Okay, which means that forget about our investment, but even for the founders, their progress is either very slow or nil. So just the domain understanding is not healthcare, and I would add business is a very, very powerful combination. And again, as a country, I think largely we've kept, and I'm being very, very broad brush, I think research and medicine have sort of in a silo which has not completely integrated with business, which in countries like the US we see a much better integration. So that's something, again, we need to work on. But investor interest is there. To provide you just one statistic, in 2021, there was a 50% increase in competent founders struggling to raise money. Okay? So what we at IN are trying to do is to unlock a lot of private money, because it is not only the business of the government to create healthcare innovation. It is doing a lot. I mean, Dr. Prasad sort of indicated to some of the work the state government is doing, but if you go to organizations like BIRAC and DBT, they are doing a lot of work. They have now created a huge ecosystem of innovators which are growing, but they're still doing small grants and they're still doing small amounts of soft loans. But again, when we work with those companies, I think what we miss, what we're wanting to do, because we from IEN actually bring in high net worth, ultra high net worth individuals who've actually, more importantly, been garage to IPO kind of entrepreneurs, who've succeeded, who've understood how to build businesses, who've understood how to operationalize things and scale. We actually want to bring that quality of money to startups. So apart from writing the basic check, they're investing their mind, their time, and their networks to help these companies. That's nationally and hopefully globally. On the other hand, I think because this is such an anti-inflationary sector, we want investors to invest. Yes, of course, make money. But I think the utilization of their disposable wealth to creating very useful solutions for society. That's what we're trying to do. And we've been able to do this because we've been able to sort of launch BioAngels because in IEN itself over the last 7 years, the more important piece. And because time is money, but I think money gets doubly valued with the time that they provide. Even as a fund, we were a sector agnostic fund. We've deployed that. 25% of the fund has gone into this sector: healthcare, med devices, pharma, biotech, etc. We've invested in companies like Nayam, Pandoram, Nokark. All of these companies we've invested. So I think this is just to sort of share with. There is no other angel group, to my knowledge, that has partnered with a government body or a government ministry to create a private angel network, right? And this is also probably the first time that we are sharing the upside of companies with the government, because we feel that government is a stakeholder in the ecosystem, and it's not that we should make money alone. That one way of opening that up is making them quote-unquote shareholders in the upside. Though they won't be shareholders, just to clarify to all the investors, they're not going to sit on the cap table, but just share in the upside. So what we are wanting to do is have innovative startups in this space actually approach us for their angel rounds. We are building this angel investor group with people with deep domain expertise, and what we have to unleash this private early stage investor at a very high risk stage of companies. And that's what angel investing is about anyway, on the one hand, as well as hopefully transform medical and healthcare professionals to become entrepreneurs. And I think that's going to take a lot more effort, and we will need many of you sitting in this room to help us. The second thing that I think as a vision that we have is at the angel group, we typically invest up to 10 crores. That's approximately $1.5 million into healthcare, and we don't want to do only healthcare fund, I'll clarify, because the risks just go up for the investors, but make it a clear focus area of the fund to be invested in these growing companies with usually about 3 to 5 million checks, which is about 20 to 35 crores kind of number. However, what we lack in this country is the next level of funding, which is the 20 to 30 million upwards, right? That money does not exist, not only scale in India, but go global. So this is something that we are working on, and we're looking for partners who will engage with us. And in fact, we are also talking to BIRAC that if you can have an outpost in say in the US somewhere, so our companies have a soft landing, they have connects, there's an ecosystem they can dive into. BioAngels, just to give you a quick wrap up, brings money, mentoring and market access. It echoes the same genetics that Indian Angel Network has been working for a decade and a half. It absolutely is focused on fueling the ecosystem with interactions with high quality investors, industry leaders, and we've leveraged all our innovation in India. We have the talent, we have the market, and a diverse market at that, and very early money. We now need to leverage this to build products, to build innovative solutions to cater to a large customer base at affordable prices. It's time for everyone, honestly, entrepreneurs, angels and early stage investors, regulators, testing data platform providers, procurement, vendor, supply chains, approval organizations, and et cetera, and many others, to come together to accelerate, to build a robust healthcare innovation industry. And precision medicine, to my mind, could...
From Dehradun. Sir? A round of applause, please.
So I'd first like to thank, but in the whole industry. So I just want to tell you a story. I want to sort of step back from all the profound ecosystem. Mr. Saurav Srivastava was the one who started the NASSCOM. He was the first chairman, and he's still the chairman emeritus of, probably in US has 50,000 people working. Their first head in US was in the midlife crisis, wanted to sell off their company at a valuation of $1 million. But even was going to reach its first $1 billion sort of turnover, there was so much of excitement, it was like a generational sort of thing happening. Partner in Wipro, Dr. Vinayendra Tulla is also, and it's through, of course, our Indian Angel Network. We have a partnership with Wipro, and confidence that what I see today is that Indian biotechnology industry, if I may use the umbrella organization, the first industry in India which will hit the $1 trillion combined valuations, and then suddenly. What it means is that initial years are kind of, it takes time, like our IT industry, like our biotechnology companies, the summit, just this first summit, but then it grows exponentially. So as I think has been mentioned, by post-COVID, if I'm not wrong, have gone up by multiples of 3 or 4 times, And same thing is happening in India, like Padmaja. That gives me the confidence that, slowly the ecosystem is building. To grow this industry, we just don't need these startups and so on, and good research. Last night, there was a company, one of our companies, who needed to do a validation, run a series of tests, do clinical trials. There was not a, we are here to take off. This is a field which, beyond anything, has great potential for the future. Since Dr. Mishra had that, obviously more in the Western world, because we didn't have a startup ecosystem that much, and we didn't have this. So I was doing it more in US, and villages, areas where they're doing sort of keeping records of the whole population. So Decode Genetics was the first company which wanted to do the entire genome, breaking the silos, So we have to all work together to kind of take this progress steps. So I was questionable. In fact, the regulatory mechanisms, if I'm not wrong, Dr. Mishra, at the Bush era was not so supportive of, will be the biggest growth sector, but also the sector will bring down the cost of help, in my opinion, and this is what I have learned for many years, is that regenerative medicine, precision